Shalom. Peace. This your brother Gabar. This channel is Intelligent Hebrew. As always, this goes out to you so-called black scattered to the four corners of the earth. You are the children of Israel. You're God's chosen, elect servant, his child, his everything according to the scripture. We are the children of Israel. And this lesson is more directly directed at and towards the ladies more than anything else. Let's get right into it. It's gonna be pretty smooth, I believe. Let's go into it because I'm pointing at the ladies because ladies, it's a lot of things that have planted a lot of different seeds in your mind. Independent, strong, and you have this energy going on where you've always been strong and independent. Most of them, I'm from the hood like everybody else. I went to public school. I have all the same neighborhood experiences that everyone else has had. And I look at it, and a lot of our brothers and sisters are raised by single parent moms. And so when I say independent and strong, I'm not saying it in a bad way, as if ladies, like, you weren't always independent and strong, like you weren't always capable, like you weren't always resilient. In my era, a lot of our fathers were incarcerated in jail and in and out of prison all the time. Some of our fathers were drug addicts or alcoholics, and so maybe they were in and out the house, maybe they weren't in the house at all. And so a lot of us were raised by single parent moms, or by our grandmothers, or a house full of women, grandmother's mom and auntie, right? And in that, as young men, we were able to see what you've gone through, the sacrifices that you've given, and the things you've tolerated, the things you put up with, having to hold the house down, working one or two jobs, y'all, trying to raise boys. Y'all never been a boy. Y'all don't know nothing about being a man. So the effort that you put in, maybe sometimes you did some things wrong. And a lot of that is come because this world has planted a lot of seeds in everyone's mind, not just the ladies' mind, but in everyone's mind. But this lesson is towards the ladies because of the seeds that have been planted in the ladies' mind. The independence that they're trying to tell you about is not independence of anything other than your man. And that's wrong. That's an error. The strength that the world is telling you that you have is the strength that you don't need your man, that you don't need the unity, the family unit, that you don't need the togetherness that the Most High has put upon us, right? We are not an independent species. We are a codependent species. And you find this in everything. Even in the animal world, you don't see where the man is independent or the woman is independent of the man. They work together for, like lions, for example, they work together for the sake of the pride. The man is willing to sacrifice himself if another male lion comes to his pride. Lions work together for the sake of their cubs. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. And some of these seeds that the world has planted in our women's head is that they can be promiscuous and sleep with all these different men because they're the same as men. You're not. It's not the same. And what happens is a lot of our young women are taking heed to this, and they're operating on this, and in the long run, or when they get a little older, then they feel like they can't find the man that they're looking for. Or some women feel like they're not going to submit to a man. They're not going to listen to anything he has to say. They're not going to accept or follow his leadership. But you'll deal with the man, and you want him to pay half or all of the rent and bills. If you guys are living in the house together and someone breaks into the house, you're going to expect him to get up and defend that household and the people in it. But you don't want to take his leadership or follow him and into whatever it is he's trying to do. Now, I'm not saying follow a man into wickedness or ignorance or foolishness. It's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that the Most High gave us a order. The Most High, Christ, man, woman, child. And it's not saying that the woman is lesser than the man. And it's saying that she has a job and position to fill for us to go forward as a family unit. On a battery in your vehicle, you have a positive and negative poles. You need both of them to start the car. When you when you make Kool-Aid, for example, you need the Kool-Aid, you need the water, and you need the sugar for you to make Kool-Aid properly. These are the things that are required. And so for us to be the nation that we're supposed to be, for us to bring forth the families that we're supposed to be, we need the woman. Men need the woman, and ladies, you need the men, and we need to work with each other and respect each other's role and love and honor each other. So this is a small lesson, something I just wanted to say to y'all, just some things I wanted to point out. And even for the brothers who are listening, who are tuning in, pay attention, because while this lesson is directly at the ladies, this is also advice for you men, okay? Also, always understand, ladies and gentlemen, that when I pull out a scripture, if the scripture says men, it's talking to the ladies. It could be referring to the ladies too, because we got to come back to the commandments and be obedient to the Most High as well. If you see a scripture that's referring to the ladies, men, it's referring to you too, because as a nation, we are the bride of Christ. As a nation, we are the bride of Christ. So we're supposed to submit to the Most High in Christ and to their will the same way our wives are supposed to submit to us. So take it in. You want your lady to submit to you, but you're not submitting to the Most High, right? So it's just a microcosm, macrocosm effect. Let's just jump right into it. First Ezra. I hope I didn't spend too much time talking. I hope I made sense with what I said to you. I hope I relayed the message. First Ezra chapter 3. I'm going to read verse 1 and 2. Now when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects and unto all his household and to all the princes of Media and Persia and to all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces. So we're just giving you an understanding of how much land, how many places we're covering. King Darius was the king of the Persians back in like the 700 BCs. So just so you get a little history back on there. Let's jump down to verse 4. Then three young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body, so they were the king's bodyguards, spake one to another. And they spake one to another. They said, let every one of us speak a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king Darius give great gifts and great things and tokens of victory. As to be clothed in purple, purple is the color of royalty, so you'd be made like royalty, right? Like the king. To drink in gold, and to sleep upon gold, and a chariot with bridles of gold, and a head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck. A head tire is like a crown. You have a gold chain about your neck. We all know brothers and sisters love to wear that gold chain, be swinging, right? No, I'm messing with y'all, man. But you know what I'm saying. Verse 7, and he shall sit next to Darius the king because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius's cousin. And then everyone wrote his sentence, sealed it, and laid it under King Darius's pillow, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of whose side the king and the three princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest, to him shall the victory be given, as was appointed. The first wrote that wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. And the third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory. Now, when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him, and so he read them. Drop down to verse 16. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their own sentences. So after they wrote them, they put them in the they gave them to the king. The king read them and said, okay, that's interesting. But you call them and let them read them and let them explain it and break it down themselves, right? And he said, call the young men, they shall declare their own sentences. They were called and came in. Now, I'm going to get into the actual meat of it, right? So, let me find it. Oh, it's the very next verse. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine. So the first comes in, talks about wine, right? And he's going into wine, and he's breaking it down about how wine gets you drunk. It does this, it does that. We're gonna get it. He said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine. It causes all men to err that drink it. So, you drink, you be making mistakes. Maybe you're on the freeway, you drunk, you get off on the wrong exit, or maybe you have a car accident, right? You say the wrong stuff when you're drunk. You do the wrong things, or you react the wrong way. Some people get drunk and they cry. Some people get drunk and they're violent. And so it's just saying how it makes everyone make mistakes. Everyone who drinks it, right? Verse 19. It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and the free man, of the poor man and the rich. So it makes everybody be the same, no matter what. When you drink, either you're happy, or you're sad, you're angry, it pulls on your emotions, right? It pulls on you. That's why it's called spirits. When you go to a certain store, it's called spirits, because these things pull on your emotions, right? Verse 20, it turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor death. So you drink it and it can make you be very, very happy, very joyful, right? It maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talent. You ever heard the saying that a drunk man speaks a sober man mind? It makes you just speak. It makes you talk what's really inside here, right? Verse 22, for when they are in the cups, they forget their love, both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. As I said earlier, it also make people violent. And you be drinking, and next thing you know, two of the closest friends are fighting each other, right? Two brothers, one brother beating shot another brother because they drunk and they having some kind of drunk argument, right? Verse 23, but when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. You drink and then you have a blackout. You don't even remember that you got into it, or that you committed some crazy sin or did something crazy. It may not be nothing bad crazy. Maybe it was funny crazy, but you did something, you don't even remember it, right? Because you're drinking so much. O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforces us to do thus? And when he had spoken, he held his peace. So that was wise. That was some truth, right? Chapter 4, verse 1. Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things and have dominion over them. And whatsoever he commandeth, them they do. See, it says men excel in strength and bear rule over the sea and land. So he's saying that men sail all over the world and they own land. But The king is mightier than them because the king owns the land that the men want to buy. Because the king tells them to go sell, and they go sell for the king. We're going to get into that. Let's read on. Verse 4, if he, the king, bid them make war, the one against the other, they do it. So when he says go to war with them, they do. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains and walls and towers. So when he tell them to go fight the enemies, they go do it, and they destroy stuff for him, right? They slay and are slain and transgress not the king's commandments. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil, all things as all things else. So they go to war for the king. They die, they live and die for the king, and with no thought of disobeying his words, right? And when they go to war and they win things, all the money, the land, the animals, the jewelry, whatever it is, they bring it back to the king, and they let the king decide what he gonna keep before they keep anything, right? Likewise, verse 6, likewise, for those that are not soldiers and have not to do with war, but use husbandry, so people who are farmers, right? When they have reaped again that which they have sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. So he's saying even farmers, they spend a whole year growing stuff, planting, tilling the ground, planting the seed, making sure it grows good, making sure ain't no bugs eating the fruits and vegetables. And then once it grows, they get their first harvest. What do? They take it to the king. And even after they take all that to the king, they still pay taxes to the king, right? This is how powerful and mighty the king is. Verse 7, and yet he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. So if he say kill him, then they kill him. If he say, you know what, let him live, then he lets him live. If you go watch the movie Gladiator, the king at the time, when the gladiators are fighting, he decides if they're going to die or if they're going to live, right? That's what it's saying. Verse 8, if he command to smite, they smite. So if he command you to hit that fool, you got to hit him. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. So if he tell you to make a land, burn the land and don't let nobody live there, then that's what you're going to do, right? If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant it. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh and taketh rest. So right here, Ezra is saying that regardless of the king, he's just a man just like the rest of us. He lay down, he take rest, he eat, and he drinks just like every one of us, right? Let's read on. And these keep watch round about him. Neither may anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything. So people always listen and obey the king. He had bodyguards that watch over him, right? And they protect him, right? Verse 12, O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest, when in such sort he is obeyed? And he held his tongue. So the dude who said the king, like, man, look at all of this that the king does. He controls people, land. He controls the farmer. He controls the armies. He controls. He has everything. How is the king not greater than wine, right? The king can tell us we can't drink wine no more, right? Now watch this. Verse 13, chapter 4, verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, this was Zerubbabel. He began to speak. Zerubbabel is Daniel, recorded in the Bible. His name was changed to Zerubbabel. All right. O ye men, it is not the king. O ye men, it is not the king, the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth, Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? So he's saying, don't women rule over these people? Yeah, the king is the man. Don't get me wrong, but think about it. Who's sitting on his lap? Who's smiling in his face? Who have the influence on him? It ain't the people. It ain't the army. It's his wife, right? Let's get that. Verse 15. Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. So he's saying that everybody comes out of a woman. Everybody has a mom. Women have borne the king. Women have given birth to the king and all the people of the land, right? O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Right? Even of them came they. So even of these people, the people who rule the seas and the land, they all come out of women. They all have a mom, right? Is what he's saying. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up and planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. So who nourished the farmer up? Who gave birth to the farmer? Who breastfed the farmer? When he was a baby, who changed that farmer's diapers? Right? The mom. Women did, right? Who people who made the wine, right? Women gave birth to them. And in some cases, women have even shown us how to make the wine, right? These also make garments for men. Those bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. So women make the clothes. I'm not saying only women make clothes. That's not what I'm saying. I know plenty of brothers who are into fashion and who have made clothes and so on and so forth. But it's saying here that the women have made the clothes, right? And they brought honor to men. What happens? You get a woman, and what happened when we all know this as young men. You walking around, you got your girlfriend or your lady, or even as grown men, right? And you got your woman on your arm, and what everybody say? I see you, boy. Shoot, it gives you a certain honor to have that woman on your arm, right? Especially when she's a righteous woman. It's a dishonor when a woman she got a man and she's sleeping around with other men. It's a dishonor, and that can destroy a whole man's household, a whole man's legacy, right? Let's get that again. These also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. Yea, if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold or any goodly thing whatsoever? And so that's plain upon tables, man. We all understand, especially brothers who have a woman in their life who are married, who have families. What do? You go to work and you bring the money home. You go to work, you bring the money home so you can make sure the bills are paid for that woman. So rent is paid for that woman. That there's food in the house. Yeah, yes, for you as well. But you're putting your time and investment into that woman. That's the whole purpose in taking her out when y'all first meet, when y'all first start courting, right? You want to go on a date and take her out, take her places that are fun and show her things that are nice, right? So you can spend time with her. This is what this is going into. Verse 20, and men leave his own father and that brought him up and his own country and cleave it to his wife. So you immediately understand that this is what we do, right? You have children, you have a woman, and you like her, you spend that time with her, and what happens? You get married and you leave your father and your mother's house to go be with her, right? let's let's get that. Let's go to First Corinthians. First Corinthians. This should be a pretty smooth and quick lesson for you guys, man. First Corinthians 11 and 12. First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so the man also by the woman, but all things of God. And I bring that out because it was saying how men are raised by these women. Men are born by these women. And there is ideology, philosophy, and doctrine out there. I think a lot of the brothers who are into Kemet believe this, that the black woman is God. And they like to say, well, don't everybody got a navel? Man, that is anatomy, that is biology. But when what you're thinking about is you're taking away the man from the creation process, right? And we're not going to get into that too much into that. But the man carries the seed. The woman has the egg. The man carries the seed. The seed goes into the egg, and together that forms the child, and the child grows inside the woman, right? But you can't impregnate a woman without the man. We are a codependent species. This only goes into what I started off saying. Ladies, you're not independent of your man. You shouldn't even think about it like that. If you have a man child, you don't know what it's like being a boy. You don't know what it's like to talk to a girl. You don't know what it's like. You don't know if you should have this fight or if you shouldn't have that fight. You don't know if you should stand up for this or if you shouldn't stand up for that. You don't know if this is being a good young man or if me not doing this is me being a good young man. Sometimes not sometimes, all the time, you need a man to direct that young boy. Okay. So this is why it says 1 Corinthians 11 and 12, for as the woman is of the man, even so the man also by the woman. So don't ever look at it like, oh, women created everything by themselves. No, we're created of each other. The man and the woman create the child together, not independently, together, right? I'm sorry, that was supposed to, should have pulled that out a little earlier, because that is directly going into when I was saying when I was going into when it was saying how that verse 17, these also make garments, these bring glory unto men, without women cannot men be. So it was just, I'm just putting that there because just let's make sure we understand. Yes, without women, men cannot be, but without men, women could not be either. This is what First Corinthians is saying, that we're made of one another. That we are made of one another. Let us love one another. We got to come together, men and women. Men need to love the women and understand, like, this is who she is. She's not the same as us. We prioritize and categorize very different, and they do as well. They use a lot of emotion. We use a lot of logic. It's not saying that emotion is bad. It's just saying that that's how they operate. Ladies, we're not saying that logic is better. We're saying that that's how we operate. But together, when you put those two things together, we're unstoppable, right? Let's move on. So verse 20 and verse 21 in first Ezra chapter 4 is saying, he sticketh, let me start at verse 20. A man leave his own father that brought him up, right? And his own country, and cleave to his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembered neither father nor mother nor country. So he don't have no problem with leaving them. He wants to be with that woman, and so this is what they're saying. He'll leave his country for that. I know plenty of men who have left their hometowns, their states, to go be where their woman is. I don't fault them for that. You know, that's the love of your life, and that's what the scripture is saying, that this is how it goes. So, ladies, understand that we love you enough to leave our father and mother. We love you enough to leave our hometowns and our city and our states. We acknowledge you as part of our creation. I mean, part of our creator, our mothers. We all love our mothers. I don't know too many men who don't love their mothers, and I'm not saying that they don't exist, but we love our mothers. And if we don't love our mother, we love a grandmother. And if we don't love our grandmother or our mother, we love our wife or our daughter, right? There's a woman in our life that we love that holds a great deal of weight that is very important to us. And so, uh, going back into that, um, he said he stick not to spend his life with his wife, so he don't even it don't bother him at all to be like, I'm gonna be with her for the rest from here on out. Ladies, we love you, and I mean not just your beauty, but there are things about you that, as men, we love that. We love the sound of your voices. We love the effort that you put into taking care of us. We love that kind of stuff. But this new energy, the new wave woman that is here today, I have to admit that we don't love her. We don't appreciate her, and we're going to touch on some of that. Let's move on. Give me. So we just went into how we gonna leave father and mother, and of course, got to get the classic one, right? Go to Genesis. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 2. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Sorry, y'all. My Bible is missing some pages, so I gotta have to use my phone. Um, Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. One flesh meaning we're gonna start being one family. We're gonna be on one accord, right? We're gonna move as one. Give me Matthew 19 and 5 real quick. So just to understand, this is not off of anything. This is lining up perfectly with the scriptures, right? Matthew chapter 19, verse 5. And this is what Christ is saying. And he answered and said unto them, I'm sort of verse 4, Matthew 19, verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? He didn't make females and say, all right, y'all go do what y'all gonna do, and then made males and say, all right, you know what, y'all come out of woman. He didn't make men and say, all right, ladies, y'all come out of men. Remember, Corinthians said that we are made of one another, right? So he made male and female. Verse 5 is really what I want. And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So Christ is just quoting what was written in Genesis. And this is just understanding this is why we are willing to leave our father and our mothers, our homelands, for our women. We love them. Ladies, we love you. Shebrews, we love you, right? And we love you more when you're a virtuous woman, though. That's basically, I can pretty much end the lesson there, because that's really what I'm trying to what I'm trying to relay to you all. But let's get a little bit more. Let's read on in First Ezra. I'm gonna start at verse 20 again. A man leave his own father and brought him up in his own country, and cleaved unto his wife. He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father nor mother nor country. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sell upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in darkness. And when he hath stolen and spoiled and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. So you understand, man, we go to work and we come home, we try to make sure we can provide for our women. Some brothers that's in the world, and they robbing and stealing, what they do, they gonna rob and steal, but a lot of them make sure that they rob and steal so they can have money for their woman, for them as a family, right? Let's move on. Let's keep moving on. 26. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 26. Yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. And so you already understand what this is. Um, in jail, a lot of people in jail, a lot of the men in jail tell you that. A lot of us, or a lot of men that are in jail, they'll tell you, like, man, because of some woman they love that they went crazy for, some woman that they love that they willing to do anything for, some woman that they love has hurt their feelings or disrespected them or offended them and driven them crazy out of their wits, it says, right? For there be, for there have, for there be, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women and have become servants for their sake. Many also have perished and have erred, made mistakes, and sinned for women. Um, King David committed adultery and then had committed premeditated murder for Bathsheba. You know, committed adultery, slept. She was Uriah's wife, and he slept with her. And then when he got her pregnant, you know, he called Uriah in, got him drunk, and because Uriah wouldn't, he tried to be slick and try to make Uriah go sleep with his wife, so that way he'd be like, "Oh, that's your baby, it ain't mine," right? But Uriah was didn't sleep with his wife, and so David said, "What's the hottest part of the war? Send him there and put him on the front line." So it was premeditated murder, right? Um, King Solomon, it said he had all these women, and they were women of different nations, so they had different gods, and for his lust and love and desire for those women, you know, he turned away and started worshiping their gods as well. So that's why the other one says, and many also have perished and have erred and sinned for women, right? Go to Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs 7, we're going to start at verse 25. Proverbs 7:25. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths, for she hath cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. So when you have a woman and she's not right, and she's not according to the Most High, and she's contrary to the Most High, or contrary to the commandments, or she doesn't have your best interests at heart, and she's selfish and self-centered, and everything's about her, then this is what happens. Listen what it says. Let's do it one more time. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Don't follow her. Right? Don't follow her. Don't follow her. Don't look at her ways and say, this is what we got to do. This is how we got to be. Go not astray in her paths. Do not walk the way she wants you to walk. Don't follow her. Again, for she hath cast down many wounded. Many strong men have been slain by her. Another one of my examples is Samson in the book of Judges. Uh, you know, the Most High said, "Don't cut your hair," and he loved this woman so much, and she kept asking him, like, why don't you tell me what the secret of your strength is?" And and that was all so she can deceive him. And he kept telling her a different story or a different tale. I don't want to say lie, but basically that's what it was. And then when she came to him and cried to him, and she did her, ladies, y'all know how y'all can do y'all woman thing and influences. And so she influenced him, and he finally came clean and said, my strength is in my hair. If you cut my locks, then my strength goes. And she did that, and that was his fault. That was his demise, right? That's why it says in verse 27, her house is the way to hell. Don't follow her path. If she's not according to the Most High in Christ, if she's not trying to keep the commandments, if she can't be a virtuous woman, then her path, her house and her path is the way to hell, man. Let's read on. First Ezra chapter 4, verse 28. And now, do ye not believe me? Oh, excuse me. And now, do ye not believe me? Is not the great king in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him and Apame, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admiral Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king. So here it is. While the king is all powerful and he controls all this, he saw Apame sitting on his right hand, right? And what happened? And taking the crown from the king's head. So she took the king's crown off his head and setting it upon her own head, right? She also struck the king with her left hand. So she also slapped him in the face. Y'all know how y'all are, ladies. Your man be playing, he's trying to love on you and hug on you. You might punch him or slap him or pull on him. You know, y'all be play fighting lovingly, though, right? Lovingly. And this is what it's referring to. And this lady Apame did this to the king. And what did he do? And yet, for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with his mouth open. He just couldn't believe it. He's just caught in her beauty, right? Um, we used to say, he sprung, right? Some dudes be like, oh, he open. She got him open, right? And so that's what it's talking about right now. And yet, for all this, and she took the king's crown off and slapped him in the face. Not slap, but gave him a little slap in the face. And yet, for all this, the king gaped. So he looked at her and gazed upon her with his mouth open. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. So when she was happy, he was happy, right? But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter her, that she might be reconciled to him again. So if she was unhappy, he did whatever he needed to do to make her be happy, to bring her joy, right? It said anything displeased him, then he didn't have a problem with flattering her. What did he say? What's wrong, beautiful? What's going on? What can I do for you? That's what he want to know. Men, y'all know this is what we do. You come home, your lady upset. What's the first thing you gonna ask? You ain't finna ignore that. What's the first thing you say? What's wrong, babe? What's going on? What's on your mind? What you thinking about? Why are you looking like that? Right? That's what we do, because this is the power that women have over us. Ladies, y'all gotta understand that y'all have, that the strength that y'all have. I know so many of y'all know y'all precepts, and y'all want to be out there teaching, and y'all want to be breaking it down. Nobody's saying that you can't teach or break it down. It's just you need to be teaching the ladies. You need to be teaching these young girls, these young ladies, these young adults, these teenage girls, and they need this. They need virtuous, righteous, strong women to be their example and to give them leadership and guidance and direction and even a little bit of correction, right? Let's read on. Verse 32. Verse 32. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus, right? Then the king and the princes looked one upon another, and so he began to speak of the truth. So he talked about women, how strong women are, and the influence women have on men, and the power that women have over men. And then he begins to wrap it up with truth. I'm not going to get into the truth because the lesson is about you, ladies. And so let's get that, right? Go to 1 Timothy chapter 2. And understand that, ladies, the influence you have on us is more powerful than you think. The words you have on your son, the words you use when you speak to your son, the words you put into him, into his mind and his heart, you putting him out there with that energy. If you tell him how smart he is, how strong he is, how great he is, how intelligent he is, how beautiful he is, then you're going to put that energy into that boy, and he's going to carry that out into the world. Sure, the world is trying to beat him down. Sure, the world is trying to tear him apart and break him down and tell him how he's nothing. But with your words, black woman, your words can put him, can build him up every day. Sometimes it won't happen right then. Sometimes it has to happen when he gets a little older. Maybe you telling him now and he 10 and he don't get it. But by the time he 15, my mom told me that, right? Let's get this. It also works the same way with the ladies. And sometimes young ladies don't want to hear what you're saying. They feel like they don't have to listen to you, or you don't know what they talking about, what they dealing with. And even though you've been there and you walked that walk and you've had that experience, don't just cut them off. Don't give up on them. Also, your words have to have a little sugar on it so they can be taken in. It's like medicine that tastes bad. And so you have to disguise that medicine with something. My mother used to give me cod liver oil. It's a disgusting thing, but it has pretty great healing benefits. Love you, Mom. but she would give me cod liver oil. She would give me a shot of lemon juice right behind it, so it masked the cod liver oil taste, right? And so this is what we have to do. Sometimes we have to correct and put a little sugar on our tongue to give that correction. Okay, watch this. First Timothy chapter 2. First Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now, I know, listen, ladies, I get it. Yes, we're very attracted to you. We love your curves. We love to see skin. We love all of that. No doubt about it. But ladies, let's be for real. If you want a good man, you want an honest man, you want a man that's going to take care of you and respect you and honor you, then you have to honor and respect and take care of yourself. We understand that today's fashion is full of nakedness, it's full of nudity, it's full of tight clothes that show everything. It shows the curvature of your hips, the cuff of your butt, the cup size of your breast. It shows everything. And so we understand that, but it's up to you to pick the clothing and wear it the way you're going to wear it. So if you want a man that's going to respect and honor you, if you want a man that's more into your mind and into your heart than just your body, then you have to do what? First Timothy 2 and 9. Adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now, I don't really get into who gonna wear pants and who gonna wear the skirt and you got to wear the dress. I think that you should pay attention to what you wear and is it modest? Be honest with yourself. Because one thing about fashion is it's something material, it's something physical. So there is no hiding the reaction that you're going to get. And the reaction you get from what you're wearing tells everyone everything. That's going to tell you everything about what you have on. It's going to tell you if it's too tight. It's going to tell you if it's too revealing. It's going to tell you if it's too short, because you're going to see the eyes of the men and women in some cases. And I'm not even saying in a homosexual way, and women in some cases where women will be looking at you, maybe not in a way of desire or lust, but maybe in a way of why she got that on. Why is she revealing all that? Why is she showing all that, right? So this is why it says, we're going to get it again. First Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So before you guys feel like I'm saying, or the scripture is saying that you can't dress or look nice, that's not what it's saying. Not even a little bit. Quite the contrary, because the scripture tells us that it's a blessing from the Most High for us to reap the benefits of our jobs. That we work all week long and we get paid. God said it's a blessing for us to enjoy the things, for us to have nice things, for us to take for us to take vacation, for us to have jewelry, for us to have nice clothes, for us to eat good food, for us to look beautiful. That's a blessing from the Most High. But modest apparel, not having your cleavage cut where your shirt cut so low you see all your breasts, pants so tight I could see the kind of underwear you're wearing, right? Short skirt so short I could see up and see the color of the panties you're wearing, right? We ain't supposed to be doing that. That's tempting other people. That's tempting other men. If you have a man, you're tempting other men to look at you, putting your man in an awkward situation, right? Putting yourself in an awkward situation, right? If you don't have a man, now you're attracting all of the men, and some of these men you don't want, or you don't want the attention they're trying to give you, but this is how you're dressed, right? And then it says, with shamefacedness and sobriety. Sobriety means aware, conscious, alert, meaning to understand the time that you're living and walking in. It says, not with braided hair. Ladies, you can get your hair braided. That's not what it's referring to. Or gold or pearls or costly array. It's talking about expensive things, making you thinking those expensive things, your hair, your gold, your pearls, and costly clothes, making you thinking that those things make you the good and righteous woman that you're supposed to be. Because those things don't make anything, right? Our celebrities wear fine clothes and drink good and drink and good drinks and eat good food, and their hair is always done, and they wear costly jewelry, right? But they're nothing but wicked people on the inside. They're not righteous on the inside. They're not virtuous. They're not who the Most High is going to be accept and look for, right? Now it says that we're not supposed to do that. Verse 10, but which become women professing godliness with works. Professing meaning you speaking righteous things, but with works, with your righteous deeds, with your righteous acts, right? This is how you're supposed to be. This is how you represent yourself, ladies. This is how you represent yourself. It said professing godliness with works, not only speaking righteous things, not only speaking good things, but with the works of good things, right? What is good? Of course, you're gonna know. Romans 7. If you know me, you already know. I'm gonna say Romans 7 and 12 tell you that the commandment is good. Deuteronomy 6 and 25 tell you that the commandment is righteous. These are the things you should be speaking, and those are the things you should be doing as well. Let's get another one. Go to 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. We're gonna start at verse 3. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 1. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husband. Be in subjection. You have to submit to your husband. That's your husband. He go to work to take care of you. He go to work to pay the bills. Even if you make more money than him, you should understand his role. His role is to protect you. His role is to provide for you. So if he doesn't make as much money for you, but he gives you the money, understand. That says a lot. If he's willing to get beat up or kill or beat up for you, understand. That says everything. That is putting a role there so that you can see and understand. Right? So be in subjection to your own husband. Sometimes, especially sisters in the truth, they'll be dealing with a man, but leadership in the camp or in the congregation that they deal with, sometimes they sometimes put the leadership over the husband, and you have to prioritize that, switch that around. Your husband is your head, and leadership is leadership over the congregation. And when y'all have problems, y'all go get counsel from them, but leadership does not rule over you. Your husband should. He should have rulership over you. And understand, I'm not saying that he's God over you. I'm not saying that he's the master and you're the slave. That's not what I'm saying. I'm using the word rulership for lack of better words. Okay. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise. So he's saying that let your words be righteous. So if someone doesn't know the truth, if someone doesn't know the Most High, if someone doesn't know the commandments, if someone doesn't know the word of God, you, ladies, you by your actions, by how you walk, by how you talk, what you talking about, how you deal with situations, how you deal with adversity, how you deal with ignorance or foolishness that's in this world, right? Let that be what? That they also, without the word, so then without the scriptures, what? Be won by the conversation of the wives, right? By your words, ladies. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, they see that you love God and you fear God. So when they see this, what? Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart. So it's saying, don't let your physical appearance be the thing that influences men. Don't let the physical things be what influences the younger sisters. Ladies, let it be what? But let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God a good price. Right? Look, for after this manner in Old time. Now, I grew up where I had my grandmother and my great grandmother, and for a really short time, as a really little boy, I had my great great grandmother, right? And I was able to see how my great grandmother dealt with my great grandfather. The love, the respect, the honor, the sub. It says subjugation, right? Being subject. No, no one. I don't think anyone saw my great grandmother and saw her as a weak woman. I don't think anyone saw her uh, as incapable or not resilient. My great grandmother was a resilient, capable, strong, smart woman, but her husband was her head. She did not. She was her speech is what is immediately told you that she feared God. Her speech, by how she talked, immediately told you that she respected and honored her husband. Her speech told you that she immediately honored and respected herself. And so when my mother and my aunties and my other female cousins saw her, they respected and loved and honored my great grandmother because of who she was, how she represented herself. There was no clothing, or there was not. My grandmother got her hair done. There was not a hairstyle. There was not a sense of fashion or any kind of jewelry that made her who she was. It was here and here, ladies. And y'all all know an older lady that's like that. And that's what we're supposed to look to. That's why it says, look, verse 5. But after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God adorned themselves, being in subjection even unto their own husbands. Ladies, we got to submit to you. You have to submit to your husband. If you have a husband, submit to your husband. Ladies, if you're not married, then if you live with your father, or man, submit to your father. Guess what, ladies? If you don't have that leadership of your congregation, I'm not saying that they should rule over you, but I am saying you should be looking to them. Let them kind of give you a little guidance and direction. Nah, sis, you shouldn't do that. Hey, sis, you know what? I get it. I think I see why you bought that dress. That's nice, but it's a little cut kind of low right there. You know what, sis? That's cool and all. I think he's a good brother. Yeah, y'all should, he might be a good fit for you. I see your attraction for him. I'm not saying let them run your life, but they should be influential in you, right? Your influence should be upon the younger ladies, as it says, not letting the outward adorning be what it is, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, right? These are the things that you got to be, not your outward adorning, not how fine you are, ladies. We know you fine. We know you sexy. We know you beautiful. We know you pretty. We know all of that. That's easily seen. But who are you in here? Because that's why it's saying don't let the outward adorning be what it is, but let the hidden man of the heart. Let us see that, right? Uh, let's move on. Um, let's go to Titus chapter 2 real quick. Titus 2. Titus 2, we want to go to Titus 2, verse 3. The book of Titus, chapter 2, and verse 3. Well, let me start at verse 1. Titus 2, verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Our sound doctrine is the commandments. The commandments tells us what we can and cannot do according to God. Simple and plain. This is not religion. This is just your life. The commandments tell us what we can and cannot do according to God. And so it's saying, speak thou the things which become sound doctrine, the commandments, this Bible, the scriptures, right? Verse 3, the aged women likewise, that they be in behavior, right? Let's define it. Behavior, the way in which one acts and conducts oneself, especially towards others. Conduct, etiquette, doings, efforts, actions, manners, ways, habits, or practices. So We should have our practices, our habits, our ways, our manners, right? As become holiness, not false accusers. So don't be out there running your mouth, gossiping and false accusing, not given to much wine. So don't be out there just being a drunkard either. I'm not saying you can't have a drink, but don't let that be what you about. Every time somebody talk to you, you always slurring in your speech and drunken and sweaty. You smell like a liquor store, right? No. It says, but what? Teachers of good things, right? Teachers of good things. So we already said it was good, right? Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. So what are good things? The commandments are good things. Always putting the commandments or always putting the word of God into your speech. Always constantly correcting and directing and guiding the younger sisters with these words, right? Verse 4. Teachers of good things, verse 4, that they may teach the young women. So you got to teach teachers of good things. Good things is the commandments. Teaching the young women good things, which are the commandments, and what? To be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, right? And love means love also has to do with us correcting and directing. Leviticus 19, verse 17. A lot of people say, God just commands us to love. Well, God is commanding us to love and to correct. Let's get that. Leviticus 19 and 17, real quick. The book of Leviticus. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. So we're not allowed to hate. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So when we see a brother or a sister going astray, we have to correct him. This is why in Titus is right now is telling you that you should teach the young women. You should correct the young women. You should not allow them to go wrong. In this case, it's saying teach the young women and shall in any wise rebuke the young women and not suffer sin upon them. So don't let them just do what they want. Yeah, they think being like Cardi B and I don't know what their names is. I know Nicki, I know Cardi, but I don't know who Sexy Red and the other ones and all these other ones who are teaching our young ladies to be promiscuous, to whore themselves out, to sleep with every man, to have no respect for themselves, to not look for the word of God, right? No. We're not supposed to allow them to do that. We're supposed to love them and correct them, right? Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. This is the love, to correct ourselves. Young ladies, when the older sister is trying to teach you something or correct you or guide you, don't be bullheaded. Take it in. See the advice, see the righteousness, and see the truth, and then say, oh, okay, I get it. That's how I gotta be. I see what the elder sister or I see what auntie, that's what we like to say, right? I see what auntie teaching us. I see what she giving me right now. Right? This is why I say that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, and to love their children. Right? Let's look up sober-minded. We've done this before in a previous lesson. Right? So we got to be sober-minded to love their husbands, right? Look at this. Sober-minded, rational or sensible. Rational or sensible. Sober-minded. So this is what it's saying. It's not saying you can't have a drink. It's saying to be rational or sensible, right? To love their husbands, right? Yes, it means to correct our husband. It means, ladies, to correct your husband when he's going astray or to show him where the mistakes are. Also, it means that you got to submit to him. Listen to what he's saying. Follow his direction and correction and guidance. He's the head. To love their children. That means to correct those children. Sometimes we got to whoop them. You guys, I know a lot of ladies, a lot of people today don't like to correct their children, but we gotta whoop them sometimes. Correct them babies, man. Don't let them do whatever they want to do. You don't love them if you don't, because if you don't correct them, believe me, American government got something called the police and the prison system that can't wait to correct your child. So love your child and correct them, right? Verse 5: to be discreet, to be chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God be not blasphemed. So this is how we do this. Now watch, we got to keep going. In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, and sincerity. Right? So these are the things that we have to do. Ladies, this applies to you as well. This applies to you as well. Right? I did a lesson called how to be more spiritual. Y'all go into that because this ties right into this lesson as well. Um, let's go to First Peter, chapter 2, verse 11. First Peter chapter 2, verse 11. Dearly beloved, dearly beloved, I beseech you, as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. Right? We have to stay away from that. I believe it's Romans or Galatians that tells us that the flesh lusts against the spirit and the spirit lusts against the flesh, right? And these are the things that we got to stay away from. We have to work on that, because these are the things that lead us the wrong direction. They take us they take us away from the Most High, and they feed us in things that we ought not to be dealing in. And ladies, what happens is, and when we say this, look, it says the flesh of abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. So I'm not only talking about sex. I'm talking about just doing everything that we want to do. And when I was speaking earlier, when I was speaking about emotions, sometimes ladies, women allow your emotions for you to guide your actions. Okay. And then those emotions, you let those emotions guide your actions, and then you're doing what you think you want to do, or you're doing what you want to do, and then you know damn well that that's leading you the wrong way. That these are the wrong things to do, or these are the wrong things to say, right? A sister come in and say something, and you don't like how she said that, but instead of you defusing the situation, your lust is going to lead you into doing what you want to do and saying, well, you got to roll your head, and now you got to do your hand. You know how y'all do all of this. You know what y'all do. Ladies, you don't got to do that. That's what this is talking about, right? Let me get verse 12. Having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak evil against you as evildoers, they may be your good works, which they shall behold, glorify in the day of visitation. So even when the heathen, people who ain't in the truth, other nations, when they have something evil or wicked to say about you, man, your conversation and your righteous deeds and your righteous acts, it'd be nothing they can say. It says what? That may be your good works, which they shall behold, glorify God. That's what we're supposed to be trying to do. Glorifying the Most High with our words and our works. And ladies, sometimes your words say everything. Ladies, you are the only of men and women between the two of us. Ladies, you guys can speak mountains of words without speaking. A look, a stance, a stare. Women hold whole conversations between each other, and men be right there, and we don't even know. We ain't even privy to it. You have to understand that this is who you are. Your power is well beyond just your beauty, ladies. Let's go to Proverbs 15. And this is to prove my point that your conversation means so much. How y'all talk to each other means so much. I see a lot of mothers and daughters, and the conversation, the mother may be trying to correct the daughter, and the daughter is not receiving the correction. And so how the daughter reacts to it, instead of the mother being the cooler head and prevailing and giving the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Her emotion then takes over and she reacts to the daughter. Now the daughter feelings is hurt or she's angry. Now she reacts to the mother, and now they are at odds with one another. When they really, if just one of them decided, excuse my French when I say this, if one of them just decided to not be the baddest bitch in the house, and to just give the truth and give righteousness and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, maybe, just maybe, things could have been handled different. Just maybe that situation wouldn't have escalated into an argument. Just maybe the relationships would be better between sisters, mothers, and daughters, right? I'm just saying. But go to Proverbs 15:1, because not only that, also, ladies, even when you deal with your men, your word means everything to us. It influences us to do or don't sometimes. And so your word also it impacts our attitude on how we're going to move on for the rest of the day, or how we deal with you for the rest of the day, or however it may go, right? If you wake up in the morning, you arguing with that man for he leave the house, when he go to work, guess what? He argumentative and ready for combat. He ready for war with anybody, everybody, for everything. But if you get up and you leave him the house and tell him how strong and capable and how wonderful he is, that he a king, and don't let this world pull you down, then maybe, just maybe, he'll come back and he's a better person. He can tolerate the ways of this world every day, maybe in traffic, maybe at the job, you know, very different. Watch this. Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. You see that? A soft answer turn away wrath. So a soft answer can make that man react different to what's going on at work or in traffic or at home with you, ladies. How you talk to him, your soft word can turn away that wrath. But your grievous words, what does it say? But grievous words stir up anger. He's not finna just be out at the job tolerating his boss, and in traffic tolerating ignorance in traffic, and he get home and now you yipping and yapping and running your mouth with attitude, rolling your head and your eyes and your hands and snapping and clapping and all that, and you think he just gonna accept that? That's a grown man. Guess what, ladies? If you got a son and you talking to him crazy and you punch on him all the time, eventually he's going to grow to be a man, and he may resent you for that. I'm not saying he's going to hate you, but he's going to resent you for that. He may resent women for that. In some cases, that can cause a young man to move into homosexuality. That can cause a man to go to move into to be one of those domestic violence type of brothers. That can cause a man to go all kind of different ways. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger, ladies. Let's move on. Let me get one more for this particular subject. Sirach 36:23. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. It depends on which way you like to use it. If you want to say Ecclesiasticus, that's fine. That's how I grew up saying it in the truth. Chapter 36, verse 23. If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men. So if she have kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, her husband is not like the other men. He not riotous. He not full of wrath. He not angry. He not contentious. He not cantankerous. He come home and his lady just put that love and that meekness and that comfort on him with her words. Ladies, y'all know how to do this. Your power is more than just your beauty. Your power is also in your words. I'm going to say it again. Your power is not only your beauty. Your power is also in your words. Where do your words come from? Let's read on. Let me get Proverbs 14:1. We're going to stay in Proverbs for a little bit. And we almost done, you guys. Proverbs 14:1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish pluck it down with her hands. So your son, your daughter, your husband, yourself, don't don't pluck it down, right? They say a wise woman build her house. Build her house with what? We just read. With what? With kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue. Tell your children, your daughter, how special she is. Tell your daughter that with righteous words and her righteous acts, that she saw that how bright she shines in this world, how special she is, and how powerful she is with not just her beauty, but with the thoughts of her mind and the words that come from those thoughts. Teach your son how strong and powerful he is, and that he's supposed to be a king on this earth, and how special and how smart he is. Maybe these things don't sink in right that moment, but they eventually will, ladies. Fellas, brothers, they eventually will. Your words are just as powerful. It's not just the ladies. It's just that they have a power in their beauty as well as their words. But brothers, our power is in our words and in our actions. So we have to be the same way. We have to have meekness and love and comfort in our words as well. Don't just break down your rib. Don't break down your woman. Don't act like she only good for sex and food. We all know that, especially if you was raised by a single parent mom. Then who instilled in you the values and the morals that's in you if you were raised by a single parent mom? So don't just all of a sudden, excuse my French again, decide to shit on the women because now you're in the truth. A woman helped raise you, or a woman raised you by herself. So put that in perspective, man. No, women are not perfect. And yes, the man, when the white man took us and brainwashed us and beat us and all that other stuff, he did a hell of a job on the ladies, but he knew that that was a big thing. And for him to get the ladies, that's how he gonna get our children. Because the woman is the first teacher of the child. So if the woman is the first teacher of the child, you got to destroy their mind. You got to destroy their perception. So ladies, he did that, but bring it back. Come back to the Most High. And look at what he's saying. These commandments, and then as well as these commandments, what are your words? Are your words good words? Are your words reflecting the words of the Most High? Are your deeds reflecting a person that keeps the commandments and walk in the paths of the Most High? Are you using words that are of kindness, meekness, and comfort? Right? Do you have a soft answer that turns away wrath, or do you use grievous words that stir up anger, as we just read in Proverbs 15? So this is why Proverbs 14 is saying, every wise woman build her house with those kind and meek and comforting words. Right? Let's move on. Let me get Sirach 25, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 23. A wicked woman abateth courage. A wicked woman abateth courage, maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. And a wounded heart, man, making a heavy countenance means your face is frowning. You're frowning. You're sad. You're depressed. Right? That's what it's saying. And a wounded heart, it hurts your feelings, it hurts your heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So when a woman won't comfort her husband in times of distress, she's destroying that man. He don't feel like he had no support. Don't nobody got his back, right? And this is the thing that we got to do. We got to get away from it. Ladies, you got to build up your household, build up your man, build up your son, build up your daughters with your words. Tell them how wonderful they are. Tell them how strong they are. Put them back on the path of the commandments. Sisters, build up your other sister. Always be that light, because that's who you are. That's why I was saying, don't let your hair and your jewelry and your clothing be what they see, but by your chaste conversation. right? Teaching good things, right? Sober. What did we say sober meant? Sober means what do you say sober meant? Sober minded, rational, and sensible, right? Let's move on. We doing good. We almost done, y'all. Watch this. Proverbs 7 and 11. Let's get Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs 7 and 11. So the woman that breaks down her house, what is she? Right? Because we just said a wise woman builds her house up, but the foolish woman destroys her house, right? So the foolish woman, what is she? She is loud. This is Proverbs 7 and 11. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Remember how we read earlier in I think it was Titus, where it says that we gotta have that we should be quiet in speech. It's not saying you can't speak. It's saying that don't be that loud chick that's running around all the time, loud and obnoxious and annoying, right? She is loud and stubborn. So even when you say, sis, that scripture say this, oh, I don't want to hear that. She got her own understanding. She already know. She's stubborn. She's stubborn against the scriptures. But what she thinks she being stubborn against you, but what she don't understand is she's not being stubborn against you. She being stubborn against the scriptures. The scriptures is the word. The word is Christ, and Christ is sent to the Most High. And the Most High, and Christ said, if you don't accept me, you're not rejecting me. You're rejecting the person that sent me, which is the Most High. So when you reject these words, you're rejecting the Most High. She's stubborn against the Most High God, His words, His commandments, and His ways. Right? She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. She everywhere. She out in the street. She at that man's house. She at that they house over there. She in their house over there. But she ain't taking care of her husband. She ain't taking care of her children. She ain't feeding them. And I'm talking about physically and spiritually. She's not guiding and directing them. Right? She's not correcting them. Verse 12. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. That's why I said she's not in her house. She at every corner. She here, she there, she everywhere, right? Let's keep it going. Skip to verse 25. Let not thine heart decline to her way. We back on this again. Don't decline to her way. Right? Don't decline to her way, and go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her, and her house is the way to hell. So we understand this again. We hitting it again. Don't listen to her. That loud, stubborn, obnoxious woman that's all over the place, who don't want to submit to the Most High, who don't have a kindness and meekness and comfort in her words, who don't have and I love that so much in 15:1. Who don't have a soft answer, right? Let's get this. Stay in Proverbs, of course. Stay in Proverbs for the chat. Proverbs 9. Proverbs 9, 13 verse. Look at this. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. Let's look up clamorous. So she's simple and knoweth nothing, right? Simple-minded. And she don't know nothing, right? All she know is that she in the world and she look good and this and that, but she don't understand why she don't got no man, or why she can't keep a man, or why her and her man can't get along. She don't know why her kids don't listen. They hard-headed. She don't understand why her daughter is so promiscuous, why her son is effeminate, or why her son is a hood street nigga, right? Why he in and out of jail. She don't understand that. Let's read on. Let's find out what clamorous means. Loud and confused. Making a loud and confused noise. Noisy, loud, vocal, rowdy, shouting, screaming, demanding, shrieking, right? So a foolish woman is loud. She is simple, simple-minded, and knoweth nothing. We have to understand that this is what this is. Go back to Proverbs 7. Go to verse 25. Let not thy heart decline to her ways. Fellas, this is advice to us. This is advice to us on dealing with these women, on dealing with a clamorous woman, on dealing with a foolish woman. Don't even listen to her. Don't even deal with her. Run. Right? My last script, I gotta get it. Of course, I don't even think I'm gonna read the whole thing. Proverbs chapter 31. I'm sorry, verse 10. Who could find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Let's define the word virtuous. Virtuous, having or showing high moral standards. Righteous, right? What is righteous? Deuteronomy 6:25 tells us the commandment is righteous. Good. What is good? Romans 7:12 tells us the commandment is good. It says moral or ethical, upright. We understand the commandment is upright. Upstanding, high-minded, right-minded, right thinking, principled, clean, law-abiding, law as in the Most High's laws, right? Lawful as in the Most High's law, right? Blameless, guiltless, just. Romans 7:12 tells us God's commandment is just. Incorruptible, decent, respectable, noble, elevated, worthy, trustworthy, praiseworthy, admirable, right? Pure, sinless, saintly, godly, angelic, immaculate, impeccable, or squeaky clean, right? So who could find this? All these things, all those were the definition of this word virtuous. Who could find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. So he's not worried about her. He trusts in her, right? She will do him good and not evil all the days of his life, right? So you see right there that this is that she's going to always be a good wife. She's going to always take care of him and her household as well. Verse 15, I'm skipping. Verse 15, she rises also while it is yet night and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. So she take care of the young ladies and her household, right? This is the things that we got to be looking for. Verse 20. She stretched out her hand to the poor. Yea, she reaches forth her hands to the needy. So she takes care of the people less fortunate, right? She maketh her covering of tapestry. Her clothing is silk of purple. She's wrapped in royalty. Verse 25. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. So she's covered in honor and righteousness. Those are the things that's covering her. Those are her clothing, right? She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. See that? On her speech is wisdom and the law of kindness. She looketh well to her household. So she tried to lift up her house. We just read, what was it in Proverbs, where it said that a wise woman built her house, and a wicked woman break down her house. Right. That's why I say she looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. She's not just sitting around doing nothing. She always trying to do something good. Maybe she cooking. Maybe she teaching. Maybe she reading. Maybe she's sewing fringes. Maybe she learning how to sew the fringes. Verse 28, her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. So many women have done righteous things, but when you keep these commandments, you're going to excel them all. Keep your head into this book. Find out the kind of woman you want to be according to the Most High, according to this book, right? Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. That's why I said, ladies, yes, your beauty is powerful and we love it. We think you're beautiful. We think you're pretty. We think you're sexy. We love all of that, right? But it says what? Beauty is vain, but a woman that fear the Lord, she shall be praised. So I don't want to spend too much time. This was just a really short, well, not even a short, just an hour and a half. I didn't mean for it to go this long. But this is the lesson that I had just for this one. There'll be other lessons for the Shebrews as well. I hope I didn't offend anyone. I hope and pray that the seed I planted a seed or plowed the ground or watered the plant. Of course, the Most High gives and gives the increase, and all honor and praise and glory given to the Most High, and none for myself. Okay. I pray this was good for you. It was good for me. I learned a lot even just giving the lesson. With that, we're going to close out. I love you all. This is your brother Gabar. This is Intelligent Hebrew. And with that, shalom. Peace.